What's up guys, it's the Cheapster here. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how you can find the value of any used item, even possibly a new item being sold on like a used marketplace. I think this is really important for anybody because if you're going to do any kind of buying of something used, it can be really hard to know like what the price actually should be, and a lot of people want to charge too much, or you might be selling it for too little. So it's really good to get an idea of what you should be looking for in terms of price. Also, it is pollen season, so if you see my eyes are red and this light is blinding me with my pollen eyes, so sorry. I'm in South Carolina and literally the cars are just like covered in yellow here. It's ridiculous. So I just went outside and then my whole face just started getting bad. So anyway, if you don't know, I actually have an eBay store that I've been selling on for I think like 8 years. So I've used eBay for a very long time, know the platform really well. And I think what I've seen is kind of a rule of thumb is any item that's used, usually especially in like the electronics world, of course this can be totally different if the item is just like way used, it's like 10 years old or something, but for the most part if something is like you're looking to buy and it's still relevant, a used item is usually going to have about 60% of the price, which is really good. So you can really save a lot of money buying a used item versus buying a new item, and of course that's not the case for everything. Some items could really like gain value when they get older. Some things don't actually depreciate as they get older, but I think in general, as a rule of thumb, things that I've seen, they come out, maybe it's been like a year or two, they're usually going to have about 60% of their value. But one of the big things to remember here is when you're wanting to know what the value of an item is, you have to know what makes the value of an item, and that's a huge thing to know because you can't just say, oh, the value is just some vague like obscure thing. No, what makes the value of an item is supply and demand. So it's going to be how much is out there and how many people want it. That's going to determine the price point. That's what you see on eBay too. For any item you buy, it's just going to be how much supply is out there and how much the demand is. So that's something to really keep in mind when you're wanting to know the value of a used item. It's going to depend on what people are paying for it. And that leads me into one of the biggest mistakes I see from people when they talk about how much an item is worth. I have heard this so many times and it absolutely drives me nuts. And that is when people say,
oh, I saw this item listed for this on eBay.
That means absolutely nothing. I hope that people realize that listing an item on eBay really means absolutely nothing. I could take a toenail clipping and list it for 10 grand on eBay. My toenail clipping is not worth 10 grand. Probably like just 1 grand or so. So don't say that things are just the value just because they're listed on eBay. It's really, again, it comes down to what people are willing to pay for it, not what it's listed for, because there's nothing stopping anybody from just listing an item for a really high price, and it's not going to get sold if it's a ridiculous price. Nobody's going to buy it. Now, of course, there are some weird incidences, like I've heard of Cheetos being like in the shapes of things, and people pay ridiculous prices for that. Cheeto shaped. Alright, so we won't actually go down that trail there. But yeah, as you can see right there, things get listed for really weird prices. I was really not expecting that. But here is what you want to do. So first off, we're going to be starting with just talking about the new AirPods Pros. And these are actually pretty new, so they're not super into the used market. So that might come into play where it's maybe not the 60% price. So if we go to Apple, that would be the first thing you want to do is go to Apple's website, and you'll want to find the price of it, or scroll down forever, and then where's the price? Oh, okay, buy. We've got the price here, and you get free engraving. Wow, for 250 bucks. Also, whoa, side note here, if you ever plan on reselling your stuff, do not get it engraved or anything like that, because it lowers the value so much. People don't want to buy engraved things that aren't their own name. Yeah, so this is the first start right here. You can see that the AirPod Pros are 250, brand new, so that's where you're gonna start your basis at. So then you can just go over to eBay and you want to search in AirPod Pros. Just search that into the top bar, and then you'll see already a bunch of stuff come up. So like this one right here is actually $270, so that's actually more expensive than just buying them brand new. But this is also something to look out for when you're searching on eBay: sponsored listings, because these are usually going to be more expensive because these people are paying to have their items sponsored. So you want to be careful with those, because almost always those sponsored listings are going to be more expensive than what you could just find, and they'll come up really quick. It'll be really easy to see those. But this is the side that you want to look at here. So something good to do with this is maybe just to click Apple. just to make sure you're not getting any off brands or any knockoffs. Of course, there still are knockoffs, so you have to make sure that you look at the item and make sure that they are authentic. And then you want to go down and click used, because we're just going to be looking at the used ones right now. And then this is the most important part of the whole process, is to go down, and a lot of people don't know this, to go down to the show only option here, and you want to click sold items. Don't click completed items, because completed items will just show you items that were done, that the auction is over, or that the buy now ended, or whatever. That doesn't necessarily mean it's sold. That just means that it ended and it's no longer listed. And now you can see, once you click the sold items, that you've got all these items coming up in a green price, which means that that's what they sold for. So you can already see, like, this one here sold for 172. And what you have to do kind of is look at these items. So you want to actually click on it and see, okay, well, this one sold for 172. What are the details of it? They said tested and working, lightly used. See pictures for exact details. So you could actually click on this and then go into it to make sure that the item, like you can see here, this box, actually that's just a label, so the box is fine. Yeah, it looks like these are in pretty good condition, as long as they worked correctly. This person has decent feedback, 99.8, so I would trust that this person actually sold like a good working pair. So this is a good basis there for 172 that these could be bought for. But you don't want to just take one. It's really important to not just take one of these listings and say, okay, that's the price, because here we can scroll down and see that this one sold for 180 and then $10 shipping. Don't miss the shipping, because that's important. Like, this one had free shipping, this one is $9.99 shipping, so that's actually 190 that these sold for. 185. So it's just really important to scroll down and take these all together. Really pay attention to all the prices. Try to look at some of the details to see if there's any reasons. Like, sometimes you get things like this, where this says genuine working Apple AirPods Pro wireless case charging case, only replacement. So this is only the charging case. So you got to be careful not to scroll down and see, oh look, $100, I should be able to buy these for $100. No, this is only the charging case, and it looks like the box. So it does take a little bit of time, but I mean, when I say a little bit of time, this could take you like 5 minutes to search through. So there's just a whole lot of things you have to look for whenever you're doing this to make sure that you actually are getting the full picture. But once you have the full picture, I think you can kind of come up with an idea of what the price should be. Like these, I would say, just scrolling down, I'd say the price is probably around like 180, 190. That's probably what you should be looking at for paying for a used pair. But you can see like this here, 171. So there are ones that are selling for cheaper. And just a little side note here, you can see that this one actually says 44 bids. So this was an auction, and auctions almost always sell lower than buy it now prices on eBay. That's because you have to put the time in to watch it and make sure that you actually bid on it. And something else you're going to notice here is there is kind of a correlation between the price you're going to pay and how long you're going to wait to buy the item. So if you're like, I really want to buy this item in 2 days, I can't wait longer than 2 days, well, you're probably not going to have as much flexibility to save money, because those deals are going to come and go. Maybe they won't come and go in those 2 days. Maybe you need to wait another week or two to see a good deal come by that you could buy. The shorter time you're willing to wait for an item, probably the higher you're going to pay for it, just because you're going to miss some of those deals. Also, this method really works on anything on eBay, just any kind of item that eBay would sell. And you don't just have to use this in terms of, okay, well, now I can buy this off eBay. You know, maybe you're at a garage sale and somebody's selling something and you want to know, okay, what's the price? I do this at Goodwill a lot, when I actually used to buy items from Goodwill and I'd sell them on eBay. You can just search, kind of do this method, see what things are selling for to know if you're getting a good deal. And the thing that I think makes eBay so powerful with this is just the instant price feedback. Maybe today, you know, these AirPods, the Pope decides that he's going to start using AirPod Pros, and everyone just goes nuts and they think, oh, I gotta have AirPod Pros, the Pope has them. It could be something like that, to where they're just flying off the shelves. Maybe Apple can't keep up with them. So you'll be able to see on eBay, the prices are going to go up a ton. Just in that day, you'll see it happen. So you'll know instantly what the price feedback really is. It doesn't take long. I definitely recommend that you use eBay to check the value anytime that you're buying a used item. I think it's just a great tool that you can use. I don't know anything out there that really does it as well as eBay does. I know Amazon kind of has something that can help you figure out what the price is, but I think eBay just does it the best, because they have so many sales every second of the day. It's just insane how much they sell. So everything is really good feedback on what the value is at that point. So yeah, use this. I hope this is helpful to you guys, that you guys can know more about what the price is. You know, this isn't just about if you're buying something, maybe you're selling something. But thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope it was helpful, and if you guys liked it, do the cheapest thing you can today, and that is to tap the like button. Also subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of helpful tips on how to find things for cheap and do things for cheap, and just fun videos. So check me out. I'll see you guys later, and remember, stay cheap.
That's cheap. You still haven't subscribed? Oh my god.